Yes, hello everybody. I am very, very pleased to meet for the first time today Konstantin, whom I've seen on videos from Jonathan Fink. And Konstantin is one of the, from my side, most brilliant explainers of the Russian Federation. His YouTube channel is Inside Russia. Please check it out. My name is Christoph Müller. I make videos for support of Ukraine. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button. Hello, welcome, Konstantin.
Christoph, it's very good to be here. Thank you for inviting me. And, I enjoy the conversation so far.
We had a little talk before. Now I hit the record button. Konstantin, you are an economic expert.
Mm-hmm.
I have seen your broadcast recently with your predictions. 13 points, or 12 points, I guess.
Oh, and a bonus one, 13 together.
Plus the bonus one, right? Which is the most important of those 13 points for you?
Well, obviously, the last one, peace. I pray every single time I go online. When we have a live stream chat and there's tons of people, thousands of people conversing in a live stream chat. And I finish every live stream with a prayer, and I pray for peace for Ukraine. I pray for peace for Ukrainian people and for Russia too, because Russia is at war as well. Russia is killing Ukrainians, but it's killing itself. And, so I pray that peace comes to everyone. So the most important one is peace. The other ones, they're not just predictions. I'll give you a little, I'll tell you a little secret. I kind of know that these things will happen, most of them, because I'm an economist by choice, by education, and I studied economics in 2 countries and 2 universities for 7 years, and then some. And I worked in business for 20 years. So I know a thing or two about what's already happening in Russia. It's like the Titanic, The Titanic hits the iceberg and everyone is sound and shaking and, everyone is electricity flickering. Everyone gets outside and what do they see? They see Titanic keeps on going and the iceberg is behind somewhere, and then Titanic keeps on, sailing. Okay, and everyone goes, "Well, whew, that was a close call, right?" And they go back to mind their own business. Some go have dinner, some listen to music. There's an orchestra playing. There's people go to steerage to continue sleeping and things like that. Kids play. But the thing is, the fate of Titanic is decided already. Okay, and it just takes time. Same thing with the Russian economy. Once it hits the iceberg, it invaded Ukraine in 2022, decided. Because Russia relies heavily on export relied heavily on export of fossil fuels, natural gas and oil to Europe. Europe was the biggest, best, absolutely fantastic customer that paid well on time in hard currency. And Russia just shot itself in the foot, both feet, and stopped selling, through different processes. It does not export gas any longer, and it exports so much less oil.
Yeah.
And Russia doesn't have anything else. That's the thing. It doesn't produce things. It's always been exploiting its huge natural resources. So once that stops, Russian economy like Titanic goes down.
You know what is interesting, Konstantin? We in Germany, we are always so proud that we have been the greatest nation, the number 1 export country in the world. We have been after, and then now it's China. But there's a lot of economic experts here, but they seem not to understand what is behind those economic problems in Russia. And what you just say, the Titanic, they run out of money. That's what you said in your other broadcasts. They will be bankrupt very soon. And okay, so we see Russia is bankrupt. But now I'm talking of Donald Trump and of the Americans. Don't they see that Russia is also very soon bankrupt, and it's doesn't make any sense to become allies with such country. I wonder always, Konstantin, why is Donald Trump still focusing on Putin so much? And why doesn't he? Obviously, Putin is a loser in our eyes. He's shot in his both feet. His economy is going down. The Titanic is going to sink very soon. Why are those guys in the United States so stupid and rely on Trump instead of Europe?
Um, no, this is a very complicated question. Let me tell you. It's going to be a very subjective answer because obviously I'm not American. I lived for 9 years in the USA, and two of my children are American, but I'm not. I'm not. I wish I was American. I wish they would let me in, but they don't. They don't want me in America, so I am not one, and I can only talk about the country as an observer, right? I have no right to judge someone, to judge Trump. Trump is the choice of American people. I believe that the last elections he was elected were fair, and he did win.
Yeah.
Not by a landslide, but it was a very solid victory, unquestionable. American people said, we, American people, we are the people, we give the power to run, to manage our country, certain things, to the hands of Donald Trump and his administration. We trust him. Well, that's what happened. Now, I was back in 1999, I believe. I took a class at American University. I was going, I was studying economics there, and the class was called the International Economics. And it was a very odd class. We studied how international institutions such as the International Monetary Fund and World Bank work, what the cases of their influence on other, on developing countries and so forth. And it was very eye-opening class for me because before I had been very optimistic about capitalism, about American influence. I thought it was all about democracy. And our professor basically opened our eyes how world works and what the International Monetary Fund is, the World Bank, who finances them, how the money is spent, who benefits, and so forth. And then he told us a phrase. It's coined in my head. Okay, and I think that's where the answer to your question is. He said, look, in the United States, we're having the best time ever of the humanity. We're rich. We buy everything that we don't produce. You know, we have plenty of food. We have jobs. You know, back then unemployment was 5%. You could get high-paying job. That was dot-com boom, first one, like that. He said, we have jobs that pay us so well. We can afford houses, cars, brand new car every 3 years and so forth. And he says, everyone in the United States is happy and nice to each other. They're nice, we're nice to immigrants. And he pointed at me and he said, you're an immigrant, Konstantin. Have you had any problems? I said, no, everyone treats me well. He goes, yes, you're treated well. There will be times in the United States where there will be much worse economic time, much more hardship than now. And you know, Konstantin, you're going to be the first one to blame. And the immigrants will be blamed that they take jobs from Americans and so forth. And you will be told to go back to where you came from. And I'm sitting there and everyone sitting there, and I was the only international student. Everyone was American. And then they're looking at me, at the teacher like, are you crazy? What are you talking? Like, are you insane? And it was in their eyes, and they strongly disagreed because in their world, we were like 20-somethings, you know, it was impossible. But I remembered his words, and he continued. He said, you know what, once the immigrants are gone, things are still bad. They are going after first-generation Americans, saying, oh, your roots lie in Germany, in England. Well, you know what? Yes, you were born in America, but your parents weren't. Why don't you go back to Germany and live there? And he says that is going to continue. And I think that's where the problem of modern day America is. I think that stage number one has come.
Okay.
25 years it took
Wow.
for that stage to come. I still remember that lesson. I forgot the guy's name, unfortunately. I wish, if he's still alive, I wish I'd talk to him right now.
Wow.
But yeah, it was incredible. So Americans um, got soft, they got rich, everyone was happy, and all of a sudden they started. You know, when you get your guards down, okay, you let your politicians abuse power, steal. Behind, you know, that doesn't concern you, but you don't check on them, and they do it, okay? And they started doing it. I remember the crisis of 2008. Wall Street got away, basically bailed out by the taxpayers. Nothing fundamentally changed in America, and they rode a wave of, you know, success, and then the pandemic came, and everything started going much worse.
Mm-hmm.
And now their lives are harder. And Americans are facing, for the first time, I don't know, in 50 years, hardship. They can't afford housing. There are homeless people all over.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Who are they to blame?
Mm-hmm.
The immigrants. Who are they to believe? A populist who comes up and says, you know what? I know how to make your lives great again.
Yeah.
Vote for me. Give me power. And I will bring you. Well, you're German. You must know that.
Absolutely.
You know, that's
That sounds also
So,
so familiar to me.
yes, and I'm not saying that Trump will become Hitler, but what I'm seeing right now, the foundation is being laid for the future generations. And of course, Americans can always change that. Americans can, you know, wake up and
Yeah.
change things politically. At least at this point, they still can. In the future, what holds the future for them, I don't know. What I'm seeing, the country is transforming, just like I saw Russia was transforming about 10, 15 years ago. Americans, they're still sleeping. A lot of them are still sleeping, and they're still rich enough. They're still unaffected by this issues of immigration, of U.S. foreign policy. And they don't want to get involved. They don't want to get informed. I think that's what the problem is right now. But it's gotten pretty bad. I mean, look, ICE agent in Minnesota shot an American citizen in plain sight on video, and he's not arrested. He's a murderer. He's walking around, and everyone keeps saying, oh, there's an investigation being going on, and the FBI is blocking. This is the beginning.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not going to get any better, friends. It's going to get worse. You got to understand that. I've seen it happen in my country. So I hope I tried to answer your question as best as I could.
That was a good answer, and I think that you mentioned some keywords. I think one of those keywords is lies. It is that when the people, they are not checking on their leaders and they believe lies because lies are easier to believe because they are quicker, and when the leaders for them the leaders themselves, they don't have moral principles, and they say, I will not lie. That should be a moral principle of a leader. But guys like Trump, like Putin, let's mention Putin first. His profession is lying. He uses to lie to manipulate everybody. And Adolf Hitler, his profession was also lying, or his Reichspropaganda minister Joseph Goebbels, he made the propaganda and the disinformation, the misinformation, the lies publicly as a state. So what can the poor people do now when this leader of a country is lying? And now you mentioned Trump also, and the Minnesota incident where this poor woman has been shot and killed. Trump was deliberately lying. And he was saying she attacked our ICE agent and this and so on. And when the leader of the country is putting out those lies, then everything is lost. I think it's the beginning of a dictatorship. Yeah.
You asked me what can poor people do, right? Or
what? This is still not the question. What I'm telling you now, I was just stating, but it's a good question. What you suggest? Yeah. What can people do when the leaders are lying and
I'll
putting bad
give you
things.
another example. I think that we are people are not poor. I think we are enormous. Okay, we
Yeah.
just don't realize our strength and power. My first wife, and this is my second marriage now. My first wife was American, and we had, we lived in Maine, and I remember she never voted.
Hmm.
And I asked her, why don't you vote? And she told me, you know what, I'm not educated enough.
Mhm.
I'm not informed enough to make educated opinion on who to vote for. And I said, look, educate yourself. No, 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 no. I have better things to do. I have girlfriends I need to catch up. I have shopping. I have, I need errands. I mean, it's too busy. Educating myself to make this informed opinion, that's priority number 99.
Uh-oh.
And that's what the root of the problem is.
Here you are.
Okay, if she took 3 hours to educate herself, who would represent her views better, and she would vote, then I think the America would run much, much better. And not just her, but everyone. That's the thing. People eject themselves from the process of policy making, which is huge problem and huge,
But
it's a catastrophe, really.
but can
That's what
you
they can do. They can educate themselves and take actions, legal actions.
can you leave the education alone to the people themselves? Then you have lazy ones, and then you have diligent ones. So we in Germany here still have a great educational system, which is free education for everybody. I think the United States still also have this. But the education is. Do you think education is? It's a matter of state, of the government, or should should the government control more how people are educated in the positive way? I am not talking of dictatorships now.
Absolutely not. I'm a capitalist. Okay, I think that the government must be small and insignificant. It should stay out of people's way. I believe that once the government gets involved, government is always power, and that's where there's power and individuals are given power, they always abuse it. Always, no matter who you are, you are tempted. When you get power, you are tempted, and if you are not strong enough, and there are very few strong people to actually go through power with grace, most get corrupted, and they start getting more and more power, and that's how dictatorships are born. So I believe that government has nothing to do. Well, just look at you. You are sitting and you are in very good shape. It means you take care of your health. Okay, you are nicely dressed with style. You have fantastic background. Looks like
Thank
it's
you.
your office. Look behind you. Everything is well organized. Colors match. Fantastic things.
It's my wife.
Did
She decorated. No thanks.
Did the state teach you that? Did the state teach you how to take care of yourself? Did the state teach you how to eat right? No, they
No.
provided some information, but you taught yourself. There's a drive inside you, Christoph. You started this YouTube. Did state educate you anything? No, you had the urge. And this is what, freedom is about. Free economy, that we are decide for ourselves, we educate ourselves.
But
And
how?
if we're lazy enough, hey, that's what happens. You wake up and you are under Donald Trump or any other guy, and then things are not well. And by
Yeah.
the way, Donald Trump is not the cause,
No.
because he came. The cause was, look back in the past.
Right.
He is using this situation to get power. He's not the cause of this.
Wow, yeah. I was just thinking of this guy, of your teacher you just mentioned. Was he a prophet? He saw those things so clear ahead. But I have this question in my mind that a government must provide good circumstances that the people can learn. And I know that the Soviet Union, they had a fantastic education system. They had really free they had a good schooling system, as far as I know. You can tell me the opposite if
I
you
misunderstood you a little bit. If you're talking about basic education, yes, of course, it
basic.
is the prerogative of the state. Yes, there's no question about that. What I'm talking about is further learning. Because even at school, some kids learn better, some worse, some are more hardworking, some are not. But the basic education must be the default. I mean, there's no question about that. And then it's up to us people to organize the basic education. Very good one, because we are the people. We tell politicians, hey, you do that for us. And if you don't, get the hell out. We'll replace you with another. That's how the system should work.
But yeah, absolutely. But what is important is the mindset of people. When you have this spirit of freedom in yourself, then you have this interest. But when you live in a dictatorship where there's always fear and you have to be afraid that my neighbor will spy on me and he'll tell the officials, and so I cannot say what I think, this is horrible. And but too much freedom is also not good. If you have every freedom, then the things go down. I saw it here in Germany, and I saw it also in the United States. And so
Chaos.
how
Chaos. It
chaos?
descends into chaos.
Yes,
Right.
and how can we bring the people to the right mindset that love is important and not selfishness? And there I am again at God. God he makes the rules of people well living together. And so there are those 10 commandments. Thou shalt not kill, and thou shalt not lie, and thou shalt not speak about bad about your neighbor. I don't know how to say in English this one. And I think this one, number 8, it's the commandment number 8. This is a key commandment where you say when the state propaganda starts telling bad things about other people, then the ordinary people living in this country, they believe what the government says. And so Adolf Hitler's propaganda said that Jews, they are guilty. They made it's everything bad just because of the Jews. And so let's throw the windows in, bring them into the concentration camps and kill them. So Putin, he's saying the Ukrainians, they are Nazis and they are bad. And that's why. So the state propaganda from Russia says to their people that the Ukrainians are bad Nazis. And here in Germany, we have people who say those Ukrainians, they're corrupt and they are Nazis. Where do they get this information from? That's what I'm asking. So when people don't have when the governments don't have the right mindset, that they should not spread lies against their enemies or against whomever. So when they don't have this in their mind, then the things are going to the chaos. What's your opinion about that? I think you will agree.
It's really hard to disagree with you here. I mean, it's just I think that the governments should not be strong. They should be controlled by the people because power lays within people. We are the people concept is absolutely brilliant, and that's what I learned in America when I first arrived in '96.
Mm-hmm.
I hadn't seen anything like that before. My country certainly wasn't like that. The USSR was the opposite, and I think that's what we forget about. If we don't like what our government does, the very same second we must change the government, and no one can tell us, "Oh, you can't do that." Of course we can.
Yeah.
It's our lives, it's our power. It's our world. We are the people who like. This is, by the way, this is a very good question. This is about freedom. Too much freedom. Where is too much freedom? I don't think there is too much freedom. It's just our personal freedom ends where another personal freedom begins.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we should not interfere with others. We are free to do anything we want as long as it doesn't affect lives of other people in the way they don't want to be affected. Okay, so that's my point. And I think you in Germany had that for a very long time. I think that Americans certainly had that. I saw that with my own eyes, and I loved it. I love America because I fell in love when I first came in '96. I was breathing freely. You know, it was incredible.
I was also a big fan of America, and I still am. And I'm a fan of Europe. I'm a fan of freedom, and now freedom is completely under attack. And the only country which is now fighting for this is Ukraine, and they are because they want to be free, and many people want to be free. But the Ukrainians, they are there. It's the most obvious. And how can we bring people to support Ukraine more? Because now the United States, they are under Donald Trump. We talk too much about Donald Trump and about the United States all the time here. At least I wanted to talk about Russia with you. Oops, there's something falling down.
It's always something happens, right?
Yeah, maybe the next time when you will ever talk to me, then I will structure our talk maybe a little bit better, because this was. Oh, how was your impression now, Konstantin? Our first talk.
I think you're brilliant in terms of. Well, we're not done yet, right? We continue.
I'm looking at the watch now. It's you know what? In half an hour, I have the honor to talk to Ben Hodges, which is also a great conversation partner. We have maybe 10 more minutes.
Look,
like.
I want to tell you that you definitely have everything for success on YouTube. Okay, you are you're very eloquent in English. Okay, you are very intelligent, obviously.
No, thank you so much.
You have style. That's very important, and just all you have to do is keep on going. You have to have fire inside, because if people do YouTube for money, that's not gonna work.
No, I don't do this. It's just thinking. That's so cool. I love talking. You have a lot of experience, and that's why it's very interesting for me also talking to you about that. I spent really a lot of time in editing the videos, and that's maybe too much. Jonathan Fink told me, he just talks and then puts it out. That's it. Don't talk. Spend too much time on editing.
This is the key to success in my view, because editing takes enormous amount of time. Well, you know that. And if you edit, well, I don't edit anything, and I still spend all my life, all my work times, well, daytimes on YouTube, so at least 8 hours a day, and I deliver a message every single day. If I were to film videos and edit, no way I could do that, because a video takes 20, 30 hours to make, you know. So don't edit much. Just, you know, have something to share with people that interests them, which you obviously do, and keep on posting more often. The success of Jonathan is that he has fire inside of him. He has the purpose, you know, and he follows his heart. He works all the time. He does that after work. You know, he sits there in London and starts at 6-7 p.m. At least he used to. Every single day he talks to someone in posts, talks in posts. That the frequency. If you want success on YouTube, if you want, you know, post more and speak from your heart, and then people will like. You have the proof that people like what you have to say, because you have 5,000 subscribers. That's, in my eyes, that's huge. So just keep on doing it, and say hello to Ben Hodges from me, and tell him that he's very, very respected and very watched in these parts of the world.
Did you talk to him yet? I haven't seen an interview with him yet.
No, I have not talked to him. I usually don't talk with anyone. He's not the one who interviews people. He's usually interviewed, so am I. And so we were never in one show, but we are regular guests at Silicon Curtain. Mm-hmm. And I know Russian propaganda watches, because they quote Jonathan once in a while, this big propaganda media, and they quote what Ben Hodges said. So Russian propaganda watches him on Silicon Curtain very, very closely.
Yeah,
I've noticed that.
but this is also that is also another thing. Russian propaganda, watches closely. I know that they are brutal. Everybody knows it, and everybody is afraid of that. And so, how to be not afraid that they come
What
and
are
kill
you
you?
afraid of?
I'm not
In
afraid.
Germany, you're German. They're probably not gonna come and kill you because that you'd have to do something really bad personally to Putin. Okay, and you're not in the position.
No, no,
They
no.
usually
Sure.
do that to people who interfere with their interests very much, like myself. You know, when Dugin says something, oh, don't trust Konstantin, he's a liar, traitor of Russia, and he doesn't know anything about that, I'm worried, okay? But I think you shouldn't be, so don't be afraid.
No, I'm not afraid. Forget it. What about? So, but so many people are afraid of that the Russians could come and kill you or do bad things, and that's why they don't do anything. And so, but don't, we should not talk in our interview about shit like that. Um,
Okay, agreed.
so, yeah, okay. Then, looking forward to one other day talking to you again, if you like. I would love to. And so, wish you all the best. And
Thank you. Thank
it
you.
was really,
Let's do that. We just scratch the surface, you know, let's talk more.
thank you very much for being my guest today. And everybody who's
Thank you,
now
Christoph.
still on board, yeah, let's do this subscribe thing again. People, please subscribe and help our channel to grow. Our both channels. Bye, Konstantin.
Thank you,
God
Christoph.
bless you.
All the best.